Certain things are just not feasible on this planet. Naturally, it would make sense for you to believe that if something is impossible on Earth, it must also be impossible in the cosmos. However, it isn't true at all, and none of us can truly believe how bizarre the cosmos is. Let's talk about shadows first. Since your shadow follows the light of day, you are accustomed to seeing it alone whenever it appears on Earth. You're also used to seeing only one shadow cast over other people, although this isn't something that happens everywhere. You only have one shadow because the sun is Earth's main source of light. But what would occur if there was two suns? A world around two stars would resemble Tatooine from Star Wars, with two shadows for every individual instead of one, and two magnificent sunsets every day. Prior to the discovery of the planet Kepler 16b, which orbits two separate stars, it was only found in science fiction. The intense heat and lack of oxygen on the planet's surface would probably cause you to perish if you were unexpectedly transported there. However, you would see two distinct shadows if you were transferred in a costume that could aid in your survival. A companion for the perpetual loneliness that permeates your existence on Earth. A planet that is probably entirely submerged underwater is the next most unusual location we will visit. A planet in the ocean called GJ1214b. The Pacific Ocean of our world appears like a puddle in comparison to the planet, which is several times larger than the Earth. Water makes up only 0.05% of the Earth's total mass, yet covering over 70% of its surface. However, water might make up as much as 10% of the planet's mass on GJ1124b. It implies that an ocean at least hundreds of kilometers deep would envelop the entire globe. Only 11 kilometers down into our own ocean, and already we have monstrous creatures like these, or enormous whales like these. Thus, one's creativity is truly unrestricted when it comes to imaginary creatures that might exist in an ocean that is more than 10 times deeper. If your ship were to crash land on the surface, you never knew what might be hiding there. However, what is known is that the intense pressure would be so great hundreds of kilometers below the surface of this enormous ocean that the water at the bottom would change into an unusual type of ice called Ice 7. This ice would not be similar to ice seen on Earth. It would stay in a solid state and not be at all cold. Not only does this not occur naturally on Earth, but our following strange case also does not. Although the weather on Earth is frequently harsh and erratic, it is incredibly mild in comparison to other parts of the cosmos. Consider the planet Kolrot 7b, which instead of raining water, it rains down rocks. This is due to the fact that half of the planet is extremely hot 2,600 C, while the other half is far colder, 177 C. Rocks can evaporate at the hot side's temperature. And on this planet, rock will condense into rock clouds in the same way that water vapor on Earth evaporates and condenses into clouds. Then, liquid rock or magma will return to the surface as these peculiar rock clouds shower. However, the temperature on the cool side is much lower than on the upper atmosphere. Thus, the magma rain will frequently turn into rocks before it hits the Earth. This planet appears to be the nearest thing a place in the cosmos could get to hell. However, the weather on another planet can be more stranger. This planet, HD 189773b, is little larger than Jupiter, 63 light years from Earth, and it appears incredibly gorgeous from space. However, that beauty conceals a horrific secret. The reason it appears this way is that silicate particles make up the majority of the planet's atmosphere. The planet's screaming winds have the capacity to reach 5,400 mph, or 7 times the speed of sound, or 2 km/s. The highest temperature recorded was 930 C. The planet's tremendously strong 2 km/s winds, which rain glass sideways, are the most horrifying thing of all. This is frighteningly quick. So in just 5 hours and 35 minutes, a storm similar to that would cross the entire planet at the equator if it were to occur on Earth, and leave a trail of broken glass in their wake. However, this storm is nothing compared to the strongest wind known to exist in the cosmos, the planet HD 189733b's wind. This gas planet's surface is always facing its star, which has temperatures as high as 966 C. However, the dark side's temperature of 688 C is still quite high. How then does the dark side manage to stay so hot? The answer is wind that blows incredibly, wickedly fast, possibly up to 22,000 mph, or 10 kilometers, or about 29 times the speed of sound. As a point of perspective, the fastest wind on Earth ever measured occurred during a tornado in Oklahoma back in 1999, and that was only 301 mph, 484 km/h, which is 73 times slower than the monster storm that is currently raging on this gigantic while you watch this video. In just 1 hour and 8 minutes, you could travel around the entire Earth by kite if you created one for yourself and flew with the wind. However, a location considerably closer to home can be the most fascinating one. In particular, this location on Titan, a moon of Saturn. Its atmosphere is so thick that, in case you were wondering, we didn't even know what its surface looked like until 2005. It looks like this. However, Titan is a pretty strange location. It has lakes, rivers, and an atmosphere. It even experiences Earth-like rain. However, the temperature is an unbearably low 179 C, so low that water becomes as hard as rocks and methane is present in a liquid state. The main component of natural gas, methane, is what makes up the moon's rivers, lakes, and clouds. There may be hundreds of times more natural gas and oil on that 20% of Titan's surface that has ever been mapped than there is in the entire planet. On Titan, gas is so abundant that it practically pours. It's the fantasy of an oil magnate, and perhaps educating a few nations about Titan is the greatest approach to promote space exploration. Even stranger, Titan might possibly support flight. You could literally fly around the moon like a bird and take in all the exotic sights of rivers and lakes if you strapped a set of wings to your arms and made a running jump. The atmosphere is thick enough and the gravity is low enough. Even though you would obviously need to wear a suit to protect yourself, you could still soar like in your dreams and accomplish unattainable goals on Earth. So date, more than 1,000 confirmed planets have been found outside of our solar system.